What is up, people? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers Daily. That's right. We are going to weigh in on the news of the day once again and what I've been seeing all over YouTube, all over Twitter, all over all of the football world, Instagram, etc. People freaking out about Manchester City and the impending 60-point deduction for the 115. First of all, people, go ahead and smash up the likes for the Cup Chasers Daily. I always appreciate you being here each and every time. It does help the channel so much. Subscribe to the Cup Chasers if you are new. It would be an absolute honor, a pleasure, a privilege even to welcome you to the community. And of course, I want to know what you're thinking about Man City's 115, the points deduction, and all this business in the comments section down below. Let's get right into this one. All right. When I saw this surface a couple of days ago, I was like, okay, my first impression was, all right, they're stringing us on again. It's just, some more bullshit. It's the international break, so everybody needs something to chat about. And so it's just something random that's come out. And so I looked away. I just kind of kept scrolling. But then I saw it again. And then I saw it again. And then I saw it again. And then it's on Football London, and it's on Sports Bible, and it's on Daily Express, and it's on 365, and it's on all the aggregators. So I was like, okay, maybe something's actually going down. And then all the YouTubers, Terry Flewers, Mark Goldbridge, everybody started doing videos about the could face the 60-point deduction. Why now? Why are they saying it now? And why should, what's going on? And will it be before the end of the season? And, oh my God, Man City could be relegated if they do it this season. Oh, but maybe they should do it. Maybe they should do it set across 4 seasons, and it should only be this many points for this season. And, oh, but if they do it, bullshit. It's all complete and utter horseshit. And it seems like nobody bothered to do any kind of a veracity check. Nobody bothered to do any research. And so it took me less than 15 minutes this morning. It took me less than 15 minutes of research to trace this back to an absolute nothing source. An absolute, this story is just noise. Is just absolute and utter noise. Now, as far as the motive, I couldn't really figure out where the motive came from. Why people would be pushing this, and I honestly think it's clickbait. I honestly think that it's just is straight up. Homie was going for clicks, but I want to trace it all the way. I did. I had ChatGPT help me with this to trace it all the way back to what this could be. Is it veracity? What's going on? And I wanted to trace how this happened and how we got this. So I'm gonna go all the way back to the conversation I had with this and read out what it gave to me. Now, the first thing it did was check for reliable sources, the reliable outlets, BBC, The Athletic, Sky, and there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Then it went to top journalists like Ornstein, for example, talking about anything from top tier reporters. Nothing. No one credible has said 60 points. No leaked number exists from serious sources. And so we found that the story lives on Twitter. It lives on TikTok. It's on YouTube. Rival fans pushing it, having fun with it, etc. There are no independent tier 1 or tier 2 sources that are reporting this. It's an echo chamber is what's going on. And so the media is who is benefiting from this. All the media outlets, because there's clicks all over everywhere. People are into it. People are wondering. It's drama, but there's nothing there. It's not real. Okay. No, there's no confirmed date. There's no confirmed punishment. There's no confirmed anything. Okay. And as we've been saying on this channel for time, we've been saying on this channel, just go back and watch the last couple of podcasts with Nez and Asif, and we talked to Nez about it, and and he's like, yeah, why would they, the whole view is, why would they destroy their cash cow? That's kind of where Nez's view is on this, and it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. The source quality is 0. The independent confirmation is 0. The timing only fits because it's international break and there's nothing to talk about. And the incentive for those who are pushing this, very, very, very there. 100% incentive for sure. So what I found out is it's really not credible at all. The case is real, the charges are real, but the 60-point number is complete speculation, completely made up. And so here's what we're going to do. I traced the timeline. Okay. There was an original spark, of course. A couple of original things we're saying. It's called narrative convergence. Okay, people. A couple of things get misinterpreted. A couple of things get said. And then sites like Football365, sites like Daily Express, aggregators. They're aggregator machines, man. They take the quote and they kind of frame it differently. They don't give it as they don't say exactly what was said, and they imply something with their line, and then they push it. And they frame it as speculation, as actual discussion. And then the YouTube socials, it just goes everywhere. It's just everywhere because people want City to be deducted points, because people love the drama. They want there to be punishment. They want this, And of course, because it's on the back, this is perfect timing to create this feedback loop, because Chelsea have just had the whole punishment thing and self-reporting and all of that. But one journalist says severe punishment possible. An aggregator says huge deductions possible. The socials say 60 points incoming. Other sites are picking up on it. And so now it feels like it's real because it's everywhere. But it's not. It's not at all. And so what I did was I went back and I tried to actually trace the origin. Okay, here it is. A fake City points deduction goes viral in 24 hours. Okay. What we're going to do here. All right. So I ran it. I like asked ChatGPT to what it would do if it checked, if it was going to trace the origin of the claim, like how it would check where it came from, right? And so I've got it. I've got it right now. I've got the where the claims come from, how it got distributed, and why it's everywhere. So it starts off with an interview it starts off with an episode of the Overlap fan debate in February, a couple months ago, right? Kieran Maguire was on the Overlap, and in that quote, he says that if City were found guilty, then somewhere between if City were found guilty, then somewhere between a 40 and 60 point deduction would, in his view, be logical. Those were the words. Because it would be consistent with Forest, it would be consistent with the Everton deduction. Okay, that is what was said, that there would be consistency and that it would be logical for them to see that. Okay. And then that was echoed, but it was framed very differently. Okay. Goal ran a piece on it that day saying it would be logical if City were found guilty, attributing it to Kieran Maguire. Sport Bible 2 days later said that it's what could happen. It's saying it could happen, people. It could happen. Now, when it goes from speculation, when it goes from, I think this would be logical, to, not could, but will be, but would be, the language of certainty, the language of it's happening in the future, it is happening, comes from César Augusto Londoño, a Colombian journalist. Let me actually read out, because I asked it who that is. I asked him who Londoño is, okay, because I didn't know. And I didn't want to just immediately say this guy's a Looney Tune, and so I actually did the research and I figured out who César Augusto Londoño is. So in Colombia, he is a legitimate established sports journalist, longtime presence on Caracol Radio and Win Sports. He does match analysis, commentary, and of course he covers Colombian football and of course the national team. So he has credibility in Colombia. He has real media credibility in Colombia, okay? Now, when I went on X and typed in his name and popped up his profile, he gets a lot of smoke for fake news. He gets a lot of smoke for fake news on his Twitter account, okay? And I went to the specific post that he posted. Okay, on X. I found it. It's only 2 days old, right? This is where it all comes from. Let me find it again. I had it pulled up, but then I didn't. Okay. The post right here. Here it says, Manchester City, and this is from César Augusto Londoño, Colombian journalist. And he's the first one. Here it says, Manchester City would be sanctioned with a deduction of 60 points for breaches of financial fair play. The official announcement of the punishment will be made before the end of the season. This sanction would take the club to the last place in the Premier League, and it would be condemned to relegation. Okay. Will be made. And he's saying the official announcement will come before the end of the season. This tweet has 434,000 views on it. Okay. But it only has 3,000 likes and only 355 retweets. So you click on it, right? The second thing says here, to be one of the second comment on this post says, to be one of the most reputable sports journalists in the country, César Augusto Londoño publishes any damn thing without even verifying the source. He sees a meme on Twitter from some Argentine parody account and boom, off to publishing. Now, this is as far as I went. I didn't go deeper and find out where this guy found the tweet, found the information. I didn't try to go even deeper there because it's already fallen apart. It's already crumbling. And so the line from Kieran Maguire back in February, if City found guilty, 40 to 60 could make sense. And then in this tweet, 60-point deduction will happen before the end of the season. So we went from it would be logical to it will be announced before the end of the season. But of course, I mean, like the first note, the first thing said, this guy's a Looney Tune. Okay. But obviously nobody bothered. No one bothered to look at that point, you know. And of course it goes on. There is a journalist named Miguel Delaney who was with the Independent. And he's only a part of the timing. He's not really, he never really said that Prague, it's all fake news. It's all fake news, man. It's fake news. Thanks for being here. Of course, every single time. I appreciate you. But it's all noise. It's all Twitter noise, man. And so here's what happened. In January, Miguel Delaney said that there was no decision and that it's probably looking like it's going to be even more delays and it's probably going to be in the summer. But then 3 days ago, the Yahoo Roundup says that according to Delaney on the Libero podcast, the suspecting timing of the verdict had shifted, but that's about when a verdict may arrive, not a source claim that the punishment is 60 points. So that's not even, he's a part of the story, but he never came out and said, yes, this is happening. So step one, Kieran Maguire in February floats that it would be possible. It would be logical for a 40 to 60 point. Step two, Goal, Football365, Sport Bible, 442, Yahoo turned it into a headline saying that, oh, it's definitely going to happen. You know, all these aggregator accounts. Step three, César Augusto Londoño upgrades it from the hypothetical to it's definitely happened before the end of the season. And this right here starts the feedback loop because everyone that I mentioned above, Goal, Sports Bible, Football365, Sport London, 442, Yahoo, they all said, ooh, confirmation. And they went with more and just piled more shit on the heap, And so the best trace, Kieran Maguire mentioned it might happen on the overlap. And then people ran with it. And people went crazy, And so it wasn't leaked. It wasn't a leaked ruling. It wasn't a Manchester City source. It was some dude in Colombia. Yeah, it was some random. It was some sports broadcaster named César Augusto Londoño down in Colombia who tweeted it out, and that's got seen over 500,000 times. And the first comment on dude's post is that he's a liar. The very first comment is about how he posts random shit. And so the number came from a speculative finance pundit take. The certainty came later. 115 alleged breaches of Premier League financial rules. Yeah, that's still there. That's still there, man. The 115 is still there. But all this is just people trying to, it's clickbait. They're just trying to get clicks for Colombian news, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why he in particular was the one to do that. But there's really no veracity to this whatsoever. And it blows my mind that nobody bothered to check that. It really blows my mind that everybody who's taken this and run with it, all the YouTube channels, all of the aggregator news outlets, but guess where you don't see it? You don't see it on Sky. You don't see it on BBC. It's not even on ESPN. It's not even on ESPN, and ESPN are one of the shittest productions of all of them when it comes to soccer news. It's not even there either. So yeah, they still have done the 115. The 115 is still there, but this 60-point deduction stuff is nonsense. It's nonsense. What are we doing, people? What are we doing? Let's do a little time. It took me less than 15 minutes to figure this out. It took me less than 15 minutes of research to trace this back to absolute horseshit. So while, yeah, F them, Man City cheated, or whatever they did. If they're found guilty, great. Do what you got to do. But that's not coming before the end of the season. It's not going to be a 60-point deduction. It's not guaranteed to be a 60-point deduction. You know, the only thing that happened was homie said this was logical. It would be logical based on the numbers that Everton and Forest were deducted. It would be logical if they're found guilty, the 40-60 would be logical. Not they are guilty. This will happen by the end of the season. So we went from an overlap podcast that said, if this is true, here's my opinion, to in less than a month. In a month, we went from if they're guilty, this is my opinion, to they're definitely guilty. This is happening before the end of the season. And notice how the leap goes through my head, because all the people who were just randomly retweeting this, who are randomly making videos on this and saying it's definitely true, who are randomly doing aggregator accounts doing retweets and changing 4 words in the article and then reposting it. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And so the saga continues. But in this day and age of let's just retweet, let's just not even bother to verify what we're retweeting, bother to actually see if what we're saying is true. We're just going for clicks. This is the bullshit you get. This is what happens when that's the environment that we all live in. And that's where we think truth comes from. This is never going to stop. It's just going to continue to roll on itself. And the feedback loop is so easy to create. It's so easy to create. And so we've all been done in. We've all been done in by a Twitter tweet. We've all been done in by some Colombian analyst that the Twitter trolls think is a troll himself. Yeah. So I just it's sad a little. It's a little bit sad that. And I understand. I'm not going to say I don't understand. I'm here doing YouTube videos as well. I understand clickbait. I understand that the world revolves around attention these days. And, you know, and we're all fighting for your attention to try and you know, make us more important. Or, you know, I don't give a shit about any of that, to be honest with you. I don't care if you think what I say is right, what I say is wrong. I am not here to push random horse shit to try to get people to this channel. But what I will do is 15 minutes of research to find out that this whole narrative is horse shit. It's 15 minutes, people. It took me less than 15 minutes to trace the source of this shit. Less than 15 minutes. Use your brain, people. Use your fucking brain. This is getting on my nerves. It's just getting on my nerves that finding out verifiable real news these days requires like work. It requires like research and actual work. Why the hell are we letting ourselves devolve into, okay, that's a whole nother soapbox. That's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother thing. Maybe Nez and Nassif and I will discuss it on the podcast on Wednesday. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing. Fake news, people. Fake news. That has been the Cup Chasers Daily. People, go ahead and smash up the likes for those aggregator accounts, people that are just spreading all the bullshit. It really does help the channel, of course. We are on the road to 500, so go ahead and subscribe if you're new. It would be an honor, a pleasure, nay, a privilege to welcome you to the channel. And, of course, I want to know your comments, questions, concerns, admonitions, your darkest, deepest hopes, desires, and dreams down in that comments section below. And, of course, make sure you got that notification bell turned on so you know when we are live each and every single day. And of course, for the other content coming down the line. So once again, thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.